Design principles are the building blocks, fundamental guidelines for creating visually appealing, effective, and functional designs. Having a thorough understanding means I can tackle any design project because I have a toolkit that helps me make informed decisions based on tried and tested theories. Stick around and I will explain the core concepts I use every day so you can begin mastering them as well. Hi, I'm Josh, Design Lead for Social Content and Community here at Canva. The principles of design are the bedrock of any successful visual communication piece. By grasping these principles, you can significantly enhance your design skills and, probably more importantly, boost your confidence. Now, if you do an internet search, you'll find all sorts of lists of the principles. 5 principles, 8, 12 principles, 13. Some mix the elements in, some keep them separate. This makes it a little bit difficult to have a definite list, but don't worry, you'll develop your own over time. In fact, I'm going to show you the 6 that really changed the game for me. Before I do that, if you want more videos like this, tutorials that'll help grow your design skills, you should check out the whole playlist. From our YouTube channel, just go to the Tips from the Team playlist. Here you'll find a treasure trove of videos covering all sorts of use cases, taught to you by people actually working here at Canva, just like me. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. Okay, enough talk, let's get into it. It's actually hard to work out what order to show them in. They're all so interconnected. Let's just start with balance. It's an easy one to understand. Balance determines the arrangement of objects within a design. It helps to think of each object as having a weight in comparison to other objects. In this design, this may be seen as heavier than this object because of its size and its color. Heavy objects get more attention. Once you know how much everything weighs, then you can arrange them to be evenly distributed. A quick tip to identify weights is the squint test. Squint your eyes and everything becomes general blurry shapes. It's easier to see what's heavier and what's lighter. This would be a symmetrical layout. The human brain is naturally drawn to symmetry as it often represents stability and familiarity. It's also associated with beauty and perfection, further contributing to its popularity in design and aesthetics. To create some interest, you could make it asymmetrical. As you can see, this layout is still balanced, but it's not a mirror image anymore. It's more dynamic. That's why this is probably the most used type of balance. Unbalanced design can evoke specific emotions like uneasiness, the feeling that something isn't quite right, perfect for a thriller movie poster. One down, how easy is this? Next is contrast. We can create weight like we just learned about, but it can also improve readability and create emphasis. By juxtaposing opposing elements, such as light and dark colors, large and small shapes, or thick and thin lines, designers can guide the viewer's attention to specific areas. And I mentioned readability. If you have light text and you want it to stand out, put it on a dark, contrasting background. It works the opposite way as well, making it much easier to read and therefore understand. Or maybe you want to hide something. Drop the contrast down and it'll fade into obscurity. Not great for accessibility. Okay, I've mentioned bringing attention to things or emphasizing them, so it's worth mentioning that emphasis is also a principle. I normally link this with the concept of focal points. These are the areas that immediately capture the viewer's attention and guide them through the composition. They serve as the visual anchors of interest, showcasing the most important information. Using balance and contrast, you can clearly show the audience what you want them to look at first. Once they have seen and understood this, the viewer's eye follows the desired path, ensuring that the intended message is effectively communicated. This is what we call hierarchy. the order in which someone views a design's individual elements. This is really important, but I'm not going to talk too much about this as my colleague Matt has already done a video about this. You can get the link from the cards up here. The principle of emphasis forces you to decide what the entry point is for your design. Then you point people towards it using other principles, like proportion. This refers to the relationship between the sizes, quantities, or relative scale of different elements within a composition. You can create a sense of realism by making sure everything is in proportion, or make it surreal by flipping the expectations. Proportion can be seen in the relationship between a headline and a subhead. You can see that this line is more important, but because of the alignment, you can tell that this line is connected. Which brings us to alignment. See, I told you they're all connected. Alignment helps show how objects are grouped, implying they have a relationship and, therefore, should be understood together. It's a great way of building a pattern and then breaking it. Look at how much attention this will get now, just because it's not aligned with the rest. Okay, the last one I want to show you is huge and surprisingly often overlooked. It's white space, also known as negative space or blank space. It's the part of the design you shouldn't notice, but actually has a lot of power in directing what people see and when they see it. It's the unoccupied area surrounding design elements in a composition. Whatever color our background is, this helps create grouping, add emphasis, and improve legibility, making the design feel more open and less cluttered. You can see in this design how the white space is emphasizing this area. It's leading the eye that way. One thing to note is any white space that's closely surrounded on at least 3 sides stops being white space. It's become an object now, an empty object admittedly, but it's lost its ability to direct the eye. It's a shape in itself. So be careful. Give space, space. Don't constrain it. To effectively use white space, you should consider it as an active component, rather than just empty space. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of principles I haven't touched upon. Unity, harmony, repetition, movement, even time can be a principle. They're all important, but I just wanted to show you the ones that really made a difference to me. Now that I've had a bit of experience with design, they've become second nature, but I still use them as a checklist, both to review designs, but also to help me make my designs more effective. For instance, say I've been working on this design, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now I'll go through the principled checklist. Where is my focal point? This is where I'll begin. Check the balance. I can increase this element's proportion to make the balance more asymmetrical. Pump up the contrast to make this stand out a little more. Bring this a little closer so it's aligned with these objects. Check the white space. Is it doing what I need it to do? By mastering these principles, you can ensure your designs are aesthetically pleasing, accessible, and impactful, ultimately contributing to your project's success. And while you may need to continuously refer to them now, while you're learning them, over time they'll become inherent in your design and process. You'll start seeing balance in everything, or appreciate how contrast has been used to grab your attention, or how white space has subtly directed you to the core message. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite design principle you couldn't live without. Check out our playlist to see other tutorials like this one. We're uploading new videos every week with all sorts of tips and tricks you can use to become a Canva master. Actually, this video is a good one to watch next, another important skill for designers. While you're there, drop us a like and subscribe to be notified every time a new video drops. See you next time.